Well, hello, everybody. How are you doing? Yes, we were a little bit late, but that's okay. That's how we go. Let's see. And it says we're live. So we are live, and welcome, everyone. I speak over all of us. Peace. We speak to the folks in Ukraine. We send them our love, our prayers, our thoughts, and our energy. They are facing the brunt of this tiger. And folks, our world is a changing. So we want to keep the energy up. We want to begin to talk about some things, because if our world is in fact changing as rapidly as what we're seeing, many of us here, we practice talking with the spirit realm. We interact with the spirit realm, whether we do it individually, if we do it into small groups. And the question that I'm putting forth today to this wonderful panel, who I will introduce, is, well, if the spirits have something to say, why aren't we listening? And if we aren't listening, then what's the problem? So that kind of sets the tone. We'll get Jennifer back in here. And so I will introduce our panel. I am honored by this, because this is a power group. And I got to tell you, dudes, I mean, I'm feeling the feminine power really just flowing through here. So just to let you know. So on my camera, I have to my left, which is Nina. Nina, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Wayne. How are you doing?
Any better, I'd be guilty, but I was never that innocent. So thank you, hon, for joining us. And I am so honored. To my right, I have Gaia. Gaia, how are you doing?
Great, doing good. Yeah,
Well,
I'm to be here. Thank you. Good to see you, sisters and brother.
Yeah, well, I be one, but among many.
Yeah, right, brothers.
I know Paul's in the background, and so that I can say, hey, Heidi, good to see you, dear. So below me, to my left, I have Julie Ann Payne from Australia, where I guess it's starting to be fall there. So, Jules, how are you doing, my dear?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Wayne. And I appreciate you putting me on your show and being with the other women. Thank you so much.
You know, Trina was going to be on here, but she couldn't, and she had a flat tire, and then it was just a really hectic day for her. So it's honored, because Jules, I look at you as one of the elder states women of the group. I mean, would that be a proper term? I don't see why not. You know,
thank you. Well, chills just went through my whole body. She said
so that's how I see it. So, and then we have Jenny, Miss Jennifer Roberts. How you doing, Jenny?
I'm good. Thank you. I'm pleased to be here with people like yourselves, because it's a refreshing space. Believe you me, I'm so grateful to be here with you people.
Well, it's a lot better than what the last time you and I met.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Energetically cleansing from that. That's
that's the kind of stuff that you can take a shower and you just got to go, no, I got to do an Epsom salt bath, man. So anyway.
Epsom salt, lavender, sage, all of it. All of it.
Got to get that shit out of my bones, man. I mean, but
it's coming out the divine feminine, though. They came out of nowhere. I don't know them. It just coming out the divine feminine. I'm getting so many messages from similar things, and they're so absurd. That's the thing. So we really are swimming through this mental asylum right now. So this sanctuary is very, very pleasing. Believe you me.
When you said that, I kind of like the saying about the rat, in the maze. Forget the cheese, just get me the hell out of the trap. Yeah. And we're in the asylum. There's no doubt. I just hope we all keep our keys, because if we lose the keys, oh man, we could be stuck in here. But anyway,
no stuck. No stuck.
No stop. I just like.
Because what happened the other day, though, we were flooded, and everyone says, "Oh, you were stuck, Julianne." I go, "No, I was free from everybody."
Did you have any personal property loss or anything from that? I mean, they're saying it was quite the event.
We didn't personally, because we're higher, halfway up the other mountain, but because of the water's got to come down the other side of the mountain, a lot of the wash across the road, and we got a lot of, damage through the water coming through our property, and it's still wet because it rained again yesterday, and they're predicting some more. But anyway, I've been going around and handing out a lot of stuff that we've baked here and produce jams and chutneys and taken it into town. But it's a good cleanse. That's how you got to look at it. Mother Nature's shifting, and it's a good, and with the fact that it's called Mary, Mother Mary, the whole frequency and the local currency. I put out a little thing for everybody.
I saw that.
So, it's if you go into the mythology or the whole another way of looking at it, instead of going, I know it's a terrible thing to look at when I drive around our town. It's shocking.
But it is the natural process. You were in drought a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, the fires, we had those fires as well.
Yeah.
Not that I had any here. But you just got to rise above it and look at it, that it's just part of it, and it just is, and it's a journey for those people now to work out that they probably needed activating, their dark night of the soul, to activate them to come into the light, sort of thing. So, there's a lot of people that obviously needed to be shifted. That, as terrible as it is, and we've all been through our terrors, we've all had our dark night of the soul sort of things to wake us up. So that's where I'm, I've been emotional. I've been emotional myself looking at what they've had to go through. I had a day on Monday or Tuesday where I could have just cried at the drop of a hat, and I knew it wasn't mine, but because I was feeling, when you're empathic, you feel everything what other people feel. I'm getting a bit emotional now talking about it.
All right. It's all right. It's
I'm
being human.
Cancerian, so us Cancerians are the mothers, so we do feel a lot. I've been feeding a lot. That's what Ian's been baking for me as well. So it's been good. It's been a good.
Well, once the water subsides, it will be green there, right? I mean, it seems like the land has been, replenished, thirsty, and now it's. Well,
that's what I think it actually is what I've got over the years. If Spirit's been talking to me, or Mother Nature, as I believe talks to me, is my trees and my garden, and all my writing I've done over the last 10 or 12 years. A lot of this has been written in my journals. But the thing is, I think naturally we will have springs that'll come up, and we'll drink fresh, beautiful, vibrant water that'll be healing water. And I think this is just filling the tables because they've been fucked with.
Yeah, that's a good word. That's an adequate word. I mean, So going on that, Jules, I'd like to expand on that, because particularly in your part of the world, the original people, the Aboriginals, who were the original people, they had, and I've studied their culture, you're immersed in it, that they had.
That's what I think talked to me, actually, is the elders on this property, because the birthing pools are up the other end.
Bingo.
So when I laid on the grass when I first was going through all my stuff, I would lay on the grass and I'd get a lot of poetry come, or saying things that I've written, activate all regenerative energetic processes to the divine blueprint, activate and stimulate the newness in me, and generate and recreate who I can truly be. Now I had to run up off the ground to type that up, because I got that from laying on the grass, like most of my poetry was. And I thought, who the hell's talking to me? I was not a poet, and I didn't know, I never wrote anything. And if anyone had told me that you were going to write, I would have said, oh, what a load of crap. But as I progressed in my journey, I perceived that that's most of mine was Mother Nature, or the elders of this land, that gave me that information through my higher self, It's me. It's only me anyway, really.
But you're in touch with what we would call, you know, the spirit realm, and the spirits are talking, or a spirit. And, you know, again, following out the thought with the Aboriginal people, they had direct contact with the spirit realm. In fact, many of our ancestors, we'd have to go back tens of thousands of years, seem to have that ability to directly interact with the spirit realm, because the spirit realm would advise, guide, and help lead humans. But here we are today. Gaia, I want to pull you in on this. I know you and Paul live in a farm. You're dealing with the earth every day, how her moods, her swings. Would you say that you that is a form of you communicating to the spirit realm? You're on mute, hon. There you are.
So yeah, hello.
Hi.
Yeah, absolutely. And the animals are. It's almost like they're. I'm in the cabin right now, but outside of the horses and the other animals, and I can actually hear them. You know, before I had to be really up close to them or been with them like for the day, then I could kind of feel and hear what they were talking, you know, is it feeling, or they're not even talking, just telepathy. But now I can just be in the cabin and they're talking. The cats are talking. I don't even have to call my cats really now. I just talk to them. So I think I've been doing this for years, but this is at a tense level. So it's intuitive, but also, what does that mean? We're all intuitives, but it's a different frequency. And it was yesterday, the horses, first time I've ever seen this, they were running in circles, kept running, just in their own circle. I know horses run, but I'd never seen them do that, kicking their heels up. And it's almost like I could hear them talking to each other. They're up on the hill over here. So yeah, there has been a shift here on the land, and you know, quite a bit.
You know, and it's interesting. Have y'all seen the video of the donkey, that where the dog is pissing on the electric fence, and the dog gets shocked, and the donkey starts laughing laughing at the dog, and almost and then you could see that the donkey stops, and then he starts thinking about it and starts laughing again. My point is, it's still funny. You have to see that video. It's cute.
I'm gonna look for it. I love it. There's a donkey here, Jenny. You know,
Jenny. Yeah,
Jenny,
yeah.
And I'm getting some donkey medicine because I've never really been a lot around donkeys. I've had camels. I've had all kinds of animals, but I haven't had a interesting. Yeah, you're right. They do that. That's so cute. Yeah.
Well, my point was that.
Yeah.
Jenny, that was no reference to you. We're not saying
jackass
or anything like that.
I'll be your donkey. Don't worry. I don't mind.
But they speak to the spirits. I'm convinced they do. You know, our dog sees Lynn's dog that passed away 4 years ago. And it's interesting because they seem to have an interaction. Mm-hmm. We just don't recognize it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's subtle. Actually, I feel now it's not even subtle. But things have happened in the world to some people. You know what I'm saying? So I think that piece of connection has been altered. Everybody got that. But but on the other side of that is we have too, because the energies have, even in the animals, I see it, and I see it in the earthworms and everything. We've been elevated with them. So yeah. And you can see that more, but what's going on out there. But you know what? It's not even a fear. It's like you're in a different parallel universe. You know all of that's going on. I grew up in the military. I know not all about, that's not true. I know a lot about these weapons that they use. That was my dad's. That
was his forte, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And biological and all that stuff. And that's actually splitting. I see that. And that fear is moving away, and it's being, it's almost like it doesn't affect us, not in an ego way, but there has been a shift. And I think that, as we say, those that know that. We met with a man last night from the future, and he said, they know that we know. They know he's helping us with what we're doing. That's another project. But he said that we are in a totally different parallel universe right now.
Yeah. Now,
But
for the
are we
audience,
just-
just to let the audience know, you are very well gifted in basically remote viewing,
Yes.
finding the target.
Yeah.
Yep. So everybody is. Hi, Linda. Good to see you,
So-
dear.
Everything is shifting, and we are too. And what do we say to that? Well, like Jules said, bake the bread, help, be who you are, help your neighbor, help yourself first, then help your neighbor, help the animals, because this is only the beginning. What we've been told from and feel is just only beginning, but we have the skills. We have
Yeah,
the,
we all have the skills.
yes.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I got more to talk on that because I think that as in times past when humans could speak to the animal kingdom, I mean, with my dog, there's a psychic connection. I mean, it's evident. And so, wow. So Linda, hello. Good to see you.
Hey,
Hi,
Linda.
Wayne. Hi, everybody.
This is a first. I'm just so
Nice.
happy to have you on and joining this esteem group. I am in like shock and awe, but that's cool. So, Linda, it's good to see you. I know that we're discussing, as you probably have heard, and as you came on, the spirit realm, how individually we connect with it. And then I think as we'll get beyond that, we'll get into a group and say, well, can a group interact with the spirit realm? I believe they can, but we'll discuss that. So Linda, you wrote, and you have had, I would say that the activity in your life has elevated, right?
Yeah, it's been going on since I was a child. Like I can remember as far back as 3 years old, having paranormal experiences, but being a Baptist, it was taboo for me to talk about it. So I was kind
Hell
of
yeah.
when I was little, because I would tell people stuff, and then of course they'd be like, "Oh, don't say that. That's of the devil. You need to get behind these Satan." So for a long time, until I got probably around 15 years old, I really started recognizing and thinking these people are crazy, because this stuff's really happening to me, and there's nothing wrong with it. Because I was having my grandmother, my great uncle, who was my best friend's grandfather. I mean, I had lots of people coming to me in my dreams. I would see them like around me, they would touch me, sit on the bed, touch my face. And that's when I started working with the Ouija board, because I was trying to speak to them. I was trying to find out, are you there? Like, do you want to tell me something? So
Did they answer you?
They did. I've actually talked with my grandfather several times. I've talked with an ancestor that warned me that my stepfather was going to have a severe accident when I was 15. And I warned my mother about it, and nobody believed me. And 3 days later, he had he almost died in a truck. He drove a big truck, and he almost passed away. Yeah. So they answered me a lot. And then suddenly it seemed like I started having friends coming out of the woodwork saying, yeah, I've been looking into that. And so that's when I really started asking a lot of questions and trying to find out answers for myself. So, but yeah.
Have you ever had any negative experiences? Because, when we're talking about the Ouija board, the spirit board, it seems like there's two camps. There's those who seem to know how to drive the vehicle, and there's others that are complete wrecks because they didn't even know how to turn the wheel.
Well, when I was 15, when I first started using it, I did read up a lot on how to use it, about as far as being in control of it, and closing the sessions out to make sure nothing was lingering behind you. And I did have, it wasn't really a negative experience. It was, you got to learn to be careful what you ask for, because
yes,
my best friend next door.
That's a hell of a concept there, Linda. I mean, you're
she was 15 and was in love with this boy that was really, really abusive to her. And I wanted them to break up. So she was at my house one day and we were using the board, and I was asking, should she break up with them? And she got upset because it said yes. And so I said, well, will you work something out for her where he'll break up with her? And unfortunately, they went on a trip together for summer vacation, and she was young and she got pregnant. And came back home, and about a month later, she was telling me she's pregnant. And then she told him she was pregnant, and he broke up with her. And it caused her to almost be suicidal. Like, she had to go into mental health and stuff. And I really learned then I need to really be careful in the way that I act. Like, I should have put a positive spin on it and been like, make sure it's not anything negative or anything like that. But thankfully I learned that lesson early on, and we got her through that period. And, but yeah, so that's the only really negative experience I've ever had with the board itself.
But would you consider yourself then a medium, that you find that?
I didn't think about that until about 3 years ago. I ran across a friend through a group I was in, oh, good gracious, the Arcturians. I was a moderator for the Arcturians group. And she, I had only done one tarot reading ever in my life. By somebody left some cards at my house by accident, and everything that I read, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just got a book and was like, how do I do this? And everything I read and interpreted came true in my life, like 3 different readings I did. And so that's really when I started getting onto my path. But about 3 years ago, I met a girl, and she did some readings for me, and things started coming true. And she started telling me some things about myself. And then I met my friend Craig from the UK, and he was telling me things they shouldn't have known. And he was like, Linda, you're a natural healer. And she was telling me, you're a medium. I can see like the spirits are coming to you to get answers. And you're like the keeper of the Rainbow Bridge and all this stuff. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? She was like, have you always had people visit? And I was like, yeah, I get spirits all the time. So she sat me down one day and just started talking. And she said, I want you to try to channel. And as soon as I closed my eyes and she asked me the question, I started going places immediately, and people started coming to me. And she said, you do know you're a medium, right? And I was like, well, I'd never, because I'm I was a Baptist. You can't be a medium. What are you talking about? Like, I mean, I'm not of that ideology anymore, but there's still that little lingering in the back of your mind going, what are they? That's Satan talking. You got to be careful, girl. Yeah. So.
Well, that's interesting, Linda. And speaking of the devil, I mean, Nina, how are you doing? And oh, come on. That was funny. Come on. That was funny. I know. The delivery on that was smooth. I mean, come on.
I'm on mute. I didn't get the laugh in. Sorry, but I did laugh.
All right.
A little cackle then maybe, but
moving right on along, because we are a tactful group. So, Linda, I love how you have adapted to yours. Jules, how you've adapted to the way that you communicate. Gaia, with you on the way. Jenny, we're going to be pulling you up on as we get. But Nina, let's talk about you. It's because I've watched all of y'all, except Linda. I haven't watched you that much. And Gaia, you finally come out, and so good to see you. But she came out of the closet. But anyway,
the cabin.
The cabin. So how is it that you found your way in which the spirits talk to you? Because you obviously do interact with them. You do readings remotely. And the great thing about the relationships here, these are years relationships. You see a person and you begin to see exactly who and what they are. And the integrity of this group is outstanding. And that integrity implies to the modalities each one of y'all use. So Nina, how'd you get that way, and how do you stay connected?
Yeah, well, I do identify a lot with what Linda was saying there, Baptist, that's where I ended up, to the Baptist church, and so very, very strict, so, turns out my mother was also psychic. So it's definitely something that was in the bloodline, but she also was a Christian and suppressed it. But she always had the dream. She would always tell us stuff, even though she was a Christian. I mean, you can't help it. Stuff's coming out, but so it's definitely something in the bloodline. But I also did not really pay attention to it until the kids got a little older. They were like teenagers. Then I started. And once I started, I couldn't get enough. Like, I took all kinds of courses, read all kinds of books, and in order to feel the spirits, I actually had to, there's a bit of work to it. Like, you really gotta, it's about a month, of every day trying to do it. And then eventually you'll start to feel it. And then once you do, then you'll know what it is, and you can kind of build from there. So it's not, for me, it wasn't like they were just doing it without permission. I had to actually work to get there. But some people, might be a little bit more open maybe, and they're just able to right away. But we all are actually psychic. I don't like that word, actually. I don't call myself that. I don't call myself a medium either.
I think we're telepathic.
Yeah, we are. We all have these abilities. It's just that a lot of us just are either in denial, or we're just not interested in that, or whatever. But we all can do it, right, if we want to. And
if you look at the word supernatural, where we're just naturally super.
We're naturally that way. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I like naturally super. I like that.
Yeah. So, and it's interesting because you've been talking about the Ouija board and maybe getting together and a bunch of us doing it. Now, for me, I've never really had a Ouija board. I actually had I bought a Archangel board or something rather, but I never did use it. And nobody around me was interested in doing it with me either. So I guess that's another reason why I kind of just, whatever. But years ago, when I was with a bunch of local mediums and stuff here, we actually were doing a show. We had rented a theater, like a dinner theater place. So we're putting on, this is for like Halloween. So we're putting on like a Halloween kind of show, doing channeling and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so we were doing it with the pendulum, and we had practiced this before. So we had some mediums up on the stage that were doing channeling and asking questions and all this kind of stuff. Then was a few of us strategically placed around tables where people were eating and everything with the pendulum, and all our pendulums would answer the same. So it was very interesting. We were able to do that. So I would say you probably would be able to do the same thing with the Ouija board as well. But see, with the
I've heard of those experiments, by the way, Nina.
It works.
That people in large groups, how the pendulums suddenly become completely in sync.
Yep. Yeah. So it does work, and it was kind of fun. This was done kind of an entertaining kind of way, but so I mean, they'll still do it, I mean, why not? I mean, like your shows like this is entertainment too, right? So, so who's to say?
I'm calling it a pain in the ass, but I mean,
Well, we're entertaining somebody, I'm hoping.
At least someone.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that, but yeah. So what modality, and that's what I call it, because each one has a different tool. Do you find yourself, because, all right, Linda, you came out of the Christian background. Gaia, I'm not sure about yourself. Jenny, I know some of your background, my background. So there seems to be that commonality that, growing up, anything in this category was considered to be evil. You don't try to commune with the dead. That is a high crime. And so, but yet, as you pointed out, Nina, Jenny, I know your mom as well, that it runs in the bloodline.
Yeah. My mum had kept it under the lap until I started working on her. I remember I'm on the massage table is what the laptop's on. Anyway, I was working on her, and she said, "Oh, Grandma used to write and tell me things that used to happen. And I said, oh, did she, Mum? And then Mum will say, oh, this is about to happen. She'll tell me that now, sort of thing. But Grandma's the one that obviously saw that I had something in, because she taught me the alphabet backwards. And I used to lay beside her in the bed when she'd come to visit. So I think and she went through some horrendous stuff in her life, but it's in our bloodline. And because my daughter Crystal, she's now tapping into her ability.
Good.
Gaia, what about you in your bloodline?
My bloodline, we're Ukrainian and German, and there's a lot of psychic ability in the.
Yes. Yeah.
Everybody has telepathic, but it seems to be, more natural, more.
You would be more considered of the gypsy blood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bring them on.
I just got to say, there is nothing wrong with that. It's a proud tradition.
Yes. And I would have, we spoke, the ladies spoke here about, people say, oh, that's not happening. I didn't grow up with, that's evil. That, I didn't grow up I grew up Catholic, but that was pressed upon. But if I'd say something and something happened, my mom started picking up on that. And she said, don't say that, Jacquemina. And then like there was a barn fire and I saw it before it happened. I said, Dad, you better go to the barn. It's on fire. This is, I think I was like 5, 6. I got in trouble for that. Don't put out fear like that. You get knocked on the door. It's the neighbor. Hey, my dad was Homer. Homer, the barn's on fire. So they start seeing that in me, especially my mother. But here's the thing about the military. They see it too. So I would go in very different places than most people even know it, because I had this ability. I'd go to, everybody talks about these underground bases and all that. They're there. But my dad was a part of that. But they watch you. My dad saw it in me too. And it was fun to be with your dad, right? To go to work. But it's an energy, right? And so, I used to create fairy gardens with our daughter. She's grown now, she's 40. With her friends, I used to go to little kid's house when she was younger, and I'd create fairy gardens to the kids, and they would start seeing fairies, the little kid, her friends. So I was never really down for any of that.
No.
By the way, y'all are too young to be having these kids. At the age of, I'm just sitting here, and Nina and the rest of y'all, it's like, you got grown kids? What is this?
Yeah.
Rod Stewart sang it best. You wear it well.
So that's, I didn't grow up strict like, you guys.
So you had a little bit more freedom which is kind of cool.
A lot. So we saw a lot of cultures and my mom was very, she was very enthusiastic and adventurous. So we would go to places people would never take their kids. We lived in Libya for a long time during the coffee era. And we would go to places that no American should be going, but my mom would, introduce us to another lifestyle. So we had that adventure. So you pick up, it was never, believe it or not, even being in the military, that's all fear-based. But I had the gift of my mother being with me, and she wasn't fear-based. And my dad saw the gift in me, so he protected. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have that Satan's talking to you kind of thing, which I think helped.
Well, yeah. Nina, you're back.
Nina. So yeah.
You're on mute. You're on mute, hon.
There we go.
There you are.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. I find since I put the Norton security system on my computer, things aren't working as good.
Do you have another antivirus running?
No, I got rid of that, which maybe I shouldn't have. Yeah, I think I'm going to get rid of it because I didn't have these problems before the Norton. So
yeah. WebRoot is one of the best. So Norton sucks,
okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
So getting back on track then so Nina, when did you get, because your background coming from it, as you said, so today you use a number of them. And do you find that the connection to the spirit realm, is it stronger? Is it more intense? As you said, you had to teach yourself. So where do you find yourself today? Because Jenny, you're coming up because both of you two are very talented in tarot.
Yeah, so I use all kinds of different modalities, but I mean, really, the cards and the tools, is just that. Really, we use everything. So spirit can talk to you through pictures. It could be words. It could be all kinds of ways, right? But then also the cards, and also, so we kind of use a whole array of things when you do a reading. We don't really need the cards, but it's a good visual. People like them. It's a visual tool. It's a do
you think you work with one spirit, or do you find and does that spirit act as a filter from the other side, or do you work with many different spirits?
I call in my team. So my guides,
Excellent.
angels, everyone. If I'm doing a reading, I'll also call in their team for them to work together for the highest and best for the clients, or if it's a general reading for everyone, so all my spirits, I it's not just one, like you want to use your whole team, because we all have a team working, that's there in the background. All we have to do is ask. And that's another thing, they can't interfere in your life unless you ask them to. So why not? They're there, and why not use it? I've never had anything negative come from it. So,
no lying spirits coming in there, deceiving you, throwing you off on the wrong track.
In the beginning, when you get going on this, if you start using the cards or the pendulum for that matter all the time, like using it when it's not, you're overusing it, then eventually you'll start to see that the answers are not right. And that's because they're getting tired of you and your stupid questions, because some people will go, like, literally, they'll go and ask, what color shirt should I wear today? What shoes am I wearing? Like, they get tired of that. Okay? So we all, do that in the beginning. So I rarely actually do a lot of divination on myself. And when I do, they don't want to answer and partly because I don't want to know. I want to be surprised. I want to be able to live life like everyone else. I don't want to know everything, so I try not to use it too much on myself, to be honest. And so just using it with respect, that's the thing. You got to have utmost respect for the spirits and only use it when it's needed, and not for, silly purposes. So.
Excellent points. God, I tell you, I love this. I love you gals. Y'all are just fantastic. Jenny, you've been waiting there in the end. And then after we get this, I want to get everyone into this group discussion, because this is the group. I mean, I'm just telling you, I'd like to have y'all back again. This is phenomenal. So Jenny, you are, I would say, at the master level of tarot. Seeing you, we used to do a show every Friday. You, Nina, and then Steve. And that's where I learned a lot just by watching. So I know that whatever the two of you are connected along with Steve is authentic.
Yes. Well, I think it's I always try and be authentic, a little bit too authentic sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. But I love it.
The tarot is a really good tool. The pendulum, really good tool. The rod's really good tool. But to me, it's I can feel these different layers all of the time. These different layers of influence, of energies, energies around people, layers in their aura. So sometimes I have to switch that off a bit, to just be me. But as far as when I'm going into a reading, I call upon their higher self. I don't even like saying higher self. It's just, I want their whole self. So somebody asks me for a reading, I tell them they're giving me permission to call on the aspects of themselves that they don't even know, that they've cut off. So that's my first guide always in a reading, because they often know what they need to be told, more than anybody else. And so the other layers of them will come through the reading. ancestors will come through. I don't block anything off from coming through. I don't block any of my legion from coming through. It's just I know that if anything does come through that isn't helpful, mischievous, or, you know, it's going to get booted out the door. So I don't have to have these strict rules of like, thou shalt not, you know, come in if you've got a white gown and a harp so it's not like that. It's just like, oh, you're all welcome until you're not, you know. And so that happened a few times, you know, where it's usually the person themselves bringing that in. They've attracted some kind of energy to them anyway. So that gives me a heads up to say, right, we need to work on that because you keep attracting that energy in. So really, that's not even bad either. It just gives me more of a heads up, you know, so yeah, all's welcome until you're not.
So do you work with more than just a single spirit? I mean, because I'm getting that.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely. Yeah. I wouldn't limit myself to one spirit, one energy, one entity. I like using all different beings. They come forward, they come through for different reasons, you know. I know I've been in conference with Jinn. I know I've been in the presence of that powerful, very masterful, very different, but very knowledgeable type of entity. And to be honest, it's only ever been helpful to me or to the person that I'm speaking to, you know, that ancient this sort of salamander that comes through, which is really weird, but you know, that feels Sumerian, that energy that comes through very often. That's an ancient energy that comes through. So it's not a spirit, a energy. I'm open to anything until I'm not. And
like that.
That's it. On, you know, same way I like dressing in all different types of clothes. Nobody could tell me what style of dress I've got because I don't know what style of dress I've got, you know. So I just choose as I go, you know.
That's it.
Yeah.
My wardrobe is black, makes it pretty easy, you know.
Well, that's pretty good. That's absorbing all of the colors all at once.
People don't get that. They don't get that.
Yeah,
They really
it's all
don't.
of the
It's like,
spectrum.
you know?
I'm like, I'm not dark. I'm all of the spectrum. But yeah, I think there's a lot of fear. I've just come up against it recently, this opposition, that we're in this thrust of like organized religion, like an alligator, you know, when they turn the food and the water, trying to desperately cling on to the systems that it's had for so long. And the divine feminine's just crashing through and disrupting things. And that's good. But at the same time, I've noticed this level of fear rising up again in the collective of the unseen, even the unseen elements of you, the unseen other layers of you, your energy points, your spirit, your connections, your umbilical cords to your ancestors, this fear of that. And it comes from organized religion.
Well, you got called a witch, and that was something that I found so interesting, that people actually would use that term in a derogatory sense and able to label someone because of their ideologies or their beliefs.
It was shocking. It was shocking.
It is. It is. And it's threatening in a lot of ways, you know?
Oh, that show that I did with you was a clever motherly move of mine to make it so public, to make it so open, because actually for weeks, these people had been literally pumping up like burn the witch type things.
I got that vibe real quick. It got a little warm.
It was real nasty, real dangerous, you know. So, you know, what am I going to do? I'm going to bring them out into the open, make myself too hot to handle. And it's worked. I'm too hot to handle now.
There you go.
You know, plenty other people have said, don't speak like that to Jenny. You know,
ain't going to happen.
It's so yeah, that was my strategic way as a mother to say, okay, come out in the open. Stop trying to fight me in the dark. Come out in my
I like that.
So yeah, we tag teamed, and although it seemed like a car crash, it was actually perfect in that
I had fun.
Yeah, you me too. Yeah. And we are in these throes of this fear-based of different. No wonder no wonder we've been so closed off to different entities, different energies, different abilities that we have, because damn, this fear of it. There's a lot of spirits that would come through and speak to people a lot more, because they're just in different dimensions. They're just on different frequencies. For me, it's not like this heaven, and it's not compartmentalized for me. It's all around. And so, but there would be so much more. But there is this spiritual racism. I mean, if I was a jinn, I would be saying, hell no, I'm not going in that room. They'll burn me, you know, and I'll stay over here, thanks. You know, so we really cut ourselves off to a lot. So I prefer to say, all yeah, until you're not. And when you're not, I'm going to dance with you. And I usually win. And so yeah, maybe you need to progress to that point in certain ways of being able to stand in your authority, in certain ways to be able to know your practice. But I think people need to, or should want to be working towards that stage of confidence in their practice, in their space, in being able to clear their energies, you know, being the mother, being Makali, you know, and clearing the ground for new growth when needed. So that's where I'm at right now with what I do.
I like that. It's a good place to be. Linda, I got from your accent, are you living in the South?
I sure am.
Yeah. I'm really psychic. I want to let you know. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we love it down here. It's like 70 degrees lately, so I'm really happy down here right now. I just got so I could start my business. I finally met this great guy that I'm with, and after years of craziness, but he bought
Congratulations.
me a house. Thank you. December 20th, he bought me a house because he's really seen my growth this last 2 years. I didn't even know how to do tarot, pendulum, any of that, and I was led to go buy a deck, and then I bought another deck. And
have you ever been called a witch?
I have. But
Okay,
Congratulations. Congratulations.
I mean, it just kind of seemed to be floating around, you know.
I just found out my father's ancestors, who I didn't know. I met the shaman of the Cherokee Nation in North Carolina, and he said, you do know your Chickamauga Cherokee, and he told me my name was Dancing Deer, and he said, your ancestors are shamans. Have you been feeling led towards that? And I had actually been having dreams about it lately, and I found out on my grandmother's side from my dad, they are Welsh Irish Druids. So I've been being pulled to get into all of that lately, but I've never had any training. I just started reading cards and
how much Cherokee do you have in you?
My grandmother is full-blooded.
Okay,
my dad's side. So
interesting.
I'm about half,
wow.
Yeah. And
well, it runs strong in your bloodline. I can tell you that. That's a fact.
All my kids have been doing things since they were little, and thankfully I recognize it, and I talked to them about it and told them. I mean, I've got 5 kids. Every single one of them have an ability, and I've seen it in them. I mean, it's just.
What do y'all have? Like the age of youth, something? I mean, what is it you're taking? I mean, what the hell? You know? Anyway.
32.
I love this. And now, you know what? And I want to say something about this group and about what we call our soul tribe and our gathering. You know, this is a group of, and it's reported all the time, but there is a loving energy in here that is just phenomenal. And I'm convinced is that because demographically there are more females in here than there are males.
Yeah, I would say that.
I don't know what's up with that, but anyway.
They're all at work.
That's right.
They're all at work. Who said that? Who said that? Was it you? Oh, it was you, Nina. Okay. Yeah. Well, be careful for what you ask for. You see what happens? You got it.
Yeah, I got that too. I don't know how to work. I haven't worked for a long time.
Yeah.
Who would have known, you know? And where does seeking knowledge? I mean, you know, it's amazing. And all right, so ladies, this hour has gone by like that. Oh. So we've been talking about the Ouija board, spirit board. there seems to be the consensus that if you can do a reading, do a pendulum session, you can do that remotely. It seems like it's just the medium, the tool, whether it's a planchette, whether it's the medium itself or the cards, that there is a connection that is being established. And that is what I would call in the ethereal.
I
Would the
think
panel say yes or no? Or what would you?
I think it's a powerful thing because you're combining the alphabet, so it's code, and it's a code that surpasses dimensions, because it's bringing that etherical code into physical form that you can see, feel, and touch, and spell out. So I think it's a powerful tool of intent and connection. I think it's a very powerful bridge.
Jules, I want to add on to what Jenny just said, because it's really interesting, the alphabet. Because in this medium, the alphabet is used as where I come from, letters are spells, letters are sigils for me. And depending on how they're arranged, they will produce a certain effect.
Absolutely.
So the alphabet on the spirit board, how would you see this, Jules, from your point of view? It seems to make it would be even more intense. I don't know.
Yeah, well, from my background, I was never involved in Ouija board, but I remember being asked the first time, and I go, "Oh no, I'm not into all of that." And that's when I hadn't even.
So, Jules, were you a proper young? I mean, what? I've never actually. Yes.
I was a goody two shoes, and I never swore, and I never said anything out of school. And I was just not heard because I went through school. No one knew I even existed. And it was just 96 virtually, even though I knew there was obviously stuff going on, because I remember laying in bed actually putting out for the man that I've obviously married. So I obviously had some kind of visualization stuff back when I was young, but didn't obviously use it until 96. And I got so much. I knew that we were going to sell our shop because I got the message out here, and I thought, oh, someone's going to walk in and buy our shop tomorrow. And they did, So it was just the Ouija board, though. I was asked to go with some friends. Now, I had lots of them. They were all into it, but they're past probably not even into the stuff I'm into now. They were probably like, it was klitsch, or kitsch, whatever you call it. They were doing it, whereas I thought, no, I'm not interested. And then I was invited to like a pagan one with a whole group of other friends, and we all gathered, had a bit of a gathering, because we're in the southern hemisphere. We're not the same as you guys in the northern hemisphere. Now,
of course, I mean, it's not the damn same planet, but no.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's a good point.
So I went off to this, and they had their Ouija board, and I'd been talking, of course, obviously about my language and joking, because I joke as the fool, because that's how you can get the message across, is, that's what they did in the court. Anyway, everything I said was spelt out on the Ouija board, and I think it was more like Tara was talking to me, or Gaia, or Mother Earth. I think because of everything that I'd said, it was then relayed straight back to me in what I'd said. I come home and wrote everything down. It's in my journal, but I can't remember everything, of course, now. But everything that I spoke, they virtually spelt everything back to me.
I had someone write me last night, and she writes her poetry through the Ouija board.
Nice.
I mean, I that's the first person I've read, and she came forward, and that's what she does. She said that she does this at night when the house is quiet. She says that she says the planchette moves. She just barely puts her hands above it, but it writes poetry to her.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Jules, when I look at you, I don't know why I'm hearing it, but the little house on the prairie, the girl who used to run down the hill.
Yeah.
That's what I see, like the energy, if I was to depict it around you. It's very beautiful, innocent energy. It's lovely.
Well, thank you. Thanks, Jenny. Look, it really is meant to be simple. It's not hard. And And like I can be washing up in the sink or sweeping the floor. I don't call on any guides. It's all intention. And when you're working from the heart, it's not, you're working with everything and everybody and all of that. And I don't like labels. You know,
I go with a heart of gratitude, and that's when I get spoken to a lot. I just say thank you all the time, you know?
Yeah, intention. It's all intention, you know, and I particularly don't put no guard around me because I'm not fearing. That's the thing. If you think you need to be protected, you've already instilled fear.
Exactly. That's so true. That is,
you know, I got
kind of training.
And I used to say that to people, oh, why do you have to do that? Because you've just instilled fear. Now, there's things I've been saying for a long time. You know, you just hold your tongue and wait till everyone else catches up.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully. Sure, Linda.
I would like to say I never had any kind of training, and when I first couple of years ago got into it, I went and bought a couple of books, and I was looking at stuff online, and my guides came to me and actually, like in a dream, and said, "Stop! You already have all the natural ability. You don't need any of that. Follow your intuition like you have your whole life. Like." Just let it come to you. And I don't have fear of any of this stuff. Like I've accepted it, you know, but I just didn't study anything. But I can do a tarot reading and a pendulum reading and tell people stuff. And it still blows my mind. Things will come out and the person's like, whoa. I mean, I had one lady that I did one for, and my pendulum, she has a Native American name, and she's from Malagasy. She speaks Malagasy, and so sometimes I have to translate her work. She'll do English, but sometimes she'll do Malagasy. But she wrote out, she told me to tell her to move home to her family in Georgia, because she asked me where she should move, and she's like, I don't have family in Georgia. Well, she called me back about an hour later. She said, you're not going to believe this, but we just found out that my husband's brother just bought a house in Georgia this past weekend. And I was like, well, there you go. That's where you're supposed to move to, where your brother's family is, where they're going in Georgia. So, but I don't have training. And I see a lot of people trying to
something they're not.
Like, you know, catch a concept. I think they're forcing it. And when they should just let it happen, you know, just open yourself up and be positive and happy, and just know that I walk in the middle too. I don't work with the dark or the light. I work with both. I see all sides. I think people integrate, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all have negative crap about ourselves that we don't like. And if we don't accept it, then it just blocks us from being who we really are. So
it's like someone judging you for your last name, you know?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Never met you. Yeah. You know? You're going, what? Where'd you get that at? It's not me at all. You know?
I just wore an owl ring. I literally just wore an owl ring. That's all it took.
It's like, what the? So Gaia.
Yeah.
So what is your perspective on this? Do you work with I know you do a lot in remote viewing. Do you rely on the spirit realm to help you on that? Or is that just basically your own intuition of what you're seeing?
I would say for the remote viewing I've done and do is it feels totally like me, my energy. The other work, I don't even really use the tarot anymore, or it's almost like the frequency has shifted. I don't use any modality.
Yeah.
Myself.
Yeah. That's right.
I'd love to have go ahead, hon.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that, it's because many of us, we work individually. We're not really integrated into a group.
Right.
Would very much like to be, but even then you have to be really selective in the groups. I mean, we love everybody, but if you're going to get into this type of work that I'm into, it would require a certain, what would be the right word?
If you go in on the battlefield, you would want, and in battlefields, maybe it's not the right term, but if you're going on a field that's got energies of all kinds around you, so a battlefield, you want to know that the soldier's trained beside you and behind you.
Yes.
And you want to know that there's a certain level of discernment and integrity in them, that they're not just going to hop, skip and run halfway through a process, or because it is serious. It is. It's just not serious if I was going cliff hanging with you, you know, climbing cliffs. I want to know that you're going to hold my rope and not just let go of it.
Well, I want to know that this is not your first time.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Like, what? What do you mean? What do we do?
Yeah, I want to know
about
that
the battlefield, though.
Yeah, I want to know that you dealt with it.
The
army, you want to say
look
something?
At the word army. Army. You look at the word army. It's arm. Me.
Yes.
Army.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't go my, do we? We don't say my on the end of the word. It's talking about you. It's it's you. Everything's you.
Oh yeah, it is. But you want to combine powerful yous in other yous. You know, if you're working together, that's what I mean. You want to know that they know they've got a arm too. Yeah.
You know,
their arms are connected to them as well, not someone else.
Yes, yeah, you want to know that they know.
Yeah. I know that's what you were meaning, but I was coming to the word,
you know, because it's a really good way of saying it. It's true. You know, and they're your balancing points, you know, and they're your connecting points with the person next to you too. Your arms, you know. You want to know that somebody's going to not break the link, so to speak.
Well, the word
for me, what has escalated as well is that Paul is we're on the exact same page.
Yeah.
So a lot of work together as a couple, male and female.
Yeah.
That can accelerate things too, as well. And I think the freedom of a lot of people have to hide this gift. Well, everybody has it, but you know, the gift that they're using it. But I haven't had to do that in 25 years. I mean, I never really hid it, but we work together, you know, and I work alone as well. We all, you know, we have our alone time, but, and he has, you know, the archery and I'm working with the horses, these things, intuitive archery. But when we come together, and, you know, I've noticing things are happening faster when we sit and we stopped remote viewing because I went into it wrong in a session. I just willy-nilled it and it wasn't good because not that there was a demon. I went into a tree that was being sawed down by a chainsaw and I felt that.
Oh, wow.
To the tree. Yeah. Well, I stopped remote viewing for a few years.
Holy crap.
Did it again. Yeah. As you know, Wayne. But in that, I've noticed that when Paul and I were together in this frequencies now, it's really clear and it's really like you're standing there when and your intention of what you want to, you know, I don't really know what's going on in the remote viewing world. Paul's the monitor, but it's a whole thing that but we notice that it's happening quicker. The answer or clarity or things will happen the next day that we viewed.
And by the way, Guy, I wanted to say, bragging on you, when we did the work here for what was happening to the women in this group, you identified and you zeroed in on it, and we haven't had any more problems. Jenny, I think you were the last evidence of what I would call that.
I felt Gaia, I felt you.
Yes, absolutely. I knew you did.
And Paul, because I was attacked, you know, physically when I was with Theodore first about a few months ago, and it's gone on since then. Right. And so it's been a real tough slog for the last 4 to 6 months. But it's an opposition in that it was my energy. I haven't said anything to them. I haven't done anything to them, but my energy, all I kept hearing was, and I've actually been given a recording of this person saying she's taking all of the power away. Because Mark, believe it or not, is a public speaker. Believe it or not. Okay. And she's taking all of the power away. And there was much worse said, but for me, that was the key point of now I know why you're doing this. So it was a spiritual thing and a physical thing. So I felt you, Wayne, and I felt Gaia and Paul and Susie Q over me, so strong, so strong, and that was really awesome. So like, yeah, I've got a cosmos coven, you know, keep coming at me, see what happens next, you know. But so I knew it was going to play out okay. It wasn't comfortable, but in that opposition, things have been cracked open that needed to be cracked open, not for me, but for other people that I'm getting inundated with mail for. So again, it was just that divine feminine energy going in and just everything flying off the shelf, you know. And
I have a tendency to do that.
Yeah. But the power of the connection here was very, very. It was safe. I felt spiritually safe, which is a beautiful thing. I mean, you can't buy that. You can't buy that. And you could troll the internet and not find another group that has that, you know.
That's our quantum system. That is what we're actually going into, is that connection with our heart. That's the money that's not going to be around. It's your worth that's inside of you is what we're exchanging. Yeah. And it's going to be a little bit difficult. Yeah, it's going to be, but it's all good.
What you're saying is so true, that part of the sort of clearing, not healing, but clearing process of all the things that came up was that the acceptance of my heart value, you know, instead of monetary value, in that I have people of real value coming to my aid without me even asking, without me even requesting.
That's it.
You know, all of the people here coming to my aid without me even asking. They know me well enough to know just what I was doing to keep the family safe, and they were there around me as well. I've seen that heart work, in that I've seen, and I'm pleased with the reflection of me in other people's hearts and what they've been willing to do to love me and my family through an opposing force. So again, nothing missing, nothing broken. I'm like, yeah, I'm up, thank you. You know, so it's a beautiful, beautiful space here. Beautiful space here.
You got to do this again. Go ahead.
You know, that's where we've got to get out of the whole money system. The quantum system is your heart and what you have actually claimed, or whatever you've done in all of your life. And now in this lifetime, all of us know what we've done and gifted. And that's why I say all the time, thank you all for your gifts and talents, because that's what you're going to have as your system. That's what we're going into, okay? Yep. None of this other crap that's going on about whatever. And there's not, from my point of view, there is, you look at the word Ukraine, it's UK reign, and the Queen is virtually dead. We just haven't been told that. Everybody's playing a game, and that is also a game. We don't, that's not no war going on. It's just a green screen to put everybody in fear. Yep. And there's more things going on under the surface.
Yes.
Not nefarious. It's actually things that are being cleared. So don't buy into the fear of a war, because there is no war on this planet, only the one you're having with yourself.
Yes.
Wayne, can we just make note that Shannon, I love you, Shannon, she says we've got to coin the phrase Cosmos Coven.
I know, I wrote that down. Yeah. So I think we found the group.
I like that.
Isn't that good? Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, we got to do a T-shirt on this one. You know, that's all I got to say. You know, I'd like to say, you know, I'm a part of the Cosmos Coven. I mean, you know, I'd wear it proud. I can own it too. Trust me. I mean, with this body, I can own it, girls. That's all I got to say. I can Well, Linda, we're going to have you back on. I want to do this again. And, you know, we could go for another hour.
Yeah, I'd really like to, my business is, I've got so many interests. I do art, jewelry, music, poetry, writings, but I'm really with Mother Gaia, Mother Nature. I protect her. I'm fiercely batshit passionate about people throwing shit in our land. Like, excuse my language, but I hate garbage. I have like one bag of garbage a month, and I don't even put it in a plastic bag. I put it in a paper bag. But my business here is going to be, I grow herbal remedies because I've been so sick and I've treated myself for years with it. And you know, I'm a natural healer. I've been told that many times. So they've kicked me in the butt lately and said, hey, you need to get those herbs going and those fresh fruits and vegetables, start making those teas and those remedies. And that's why we bought this house.
Why don't we do a show on that?
Yes,
Linda,
Yeah,
that's it.
that'd be good.
Yeah,
How about this group right here? I'd love to have this group here, and you know, let's do a show on herbal healing remedies.
Some teas. I'll bring some
And
teas.
some teas.
Yes.
Nina, are you in for that?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Wow, it's 11111 right across the board. So yeah, that was a sign, you know.
There you go.
Wow. What
The Cosmos Coven is speaking.
the Cosmos Coven. I
Coven
love
is
this.
speaking.
Shannon, you're gonna
Yeah,
have to
Jules.
get this.
She has spoke.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. That's what I'm telling you. This is cool. Cosmos Coven. All right. That's what we're going to name this. I love this. Well, ladies, honored to have you on. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone listening. Thank you for hitting
Love
the
you
like
all,
button.
Yeah.
It's fun.
You know, the
Coming
folks,
together's fun.
you're on tonight, Jules, right? With the Andromeda 7.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
Okay.
I'm not probably doing a card reading as such. Like, I don't use cards. I don't. Anyway, I have put
You
my
use
own
words.
yeah.
That's
But
what
I've
you
got
do.
a little book of illumination, which tells you what birthday you are and what card you are in the deck. And I'm the 6 of clubs, and the 6 of clubs is the messenger, and it's just me to a T. It tells you that you can heal yourself, and you'll find what you need to say to people and find your truth. And when you've found your truth, you'll actually express it. And so I've done it.
You have, and I love the you're an alchemist that uses the letters. And let me just say this to everyone as we go. You know, when you start loving yourself in the mirror and you quit judging yourself, quit condemning yourself, you learn to accept yourself, things in your world will start coming in. And it's just like Van Morrison. Mama told me there'd be days like this. You don't have
Can
to
I
do
say-
anything. It turns out all right.
Yeah. And the word witch, right? Look at the word witch. Witch is the old word for mind. So have your wits about you. The letter C is telling you to look. And our letter H, if you look at all the words that start with H, it looks like a ladder, right? And you got every angle on that ladder, right? You look at the H, you have every right angle, no matter where. And that was the letter that was taken out of the Hebrew when it was transferred to English. They took a lot of H's out because H is a very high vibrational letter, because when you're laughing, it's ha.
It's the rock. The rock spirit. Yeah.
Right. So which is just telling you to have your wits about you and see that you can climb wherever you want to go.
Well, I'm in great company here. I don't know about the rest of y'all out there, but I'm all right here. All right. Thank you all. Soul Tribe, we love you. Ladies, stay with me as we get out here. Thank you, everyone. I can't go through all the names. I'll be here, but
Wayne.
we just love all of you.
Wayne. Thank you.
Thank all of you,
everyone.
ladies.
Thank you, Soul Tribe.
Thank you,
I
ladies.
touched the goddess today. The goddess was represented in this panel. And you know what? I love the energy. So,
Thank
all
you.
right, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
See
you.
y'all.